Hello my pretties, the witch is back with some more zero waste witchcraft. Today we're going to talk about candle wax. Most witches go through a lot of candles, like a lot of candles. Spell candles, devotional candles, even just candles to create an ambiance and energy in a space. And sometimes we're left with a little remainder. So here are some ideas to use some of that leftover wax. Okay, let's get the obvious one out of the way. You can melt all of your leftovers down and make a new candle with them. This gets a little tricky though when you're doing spell candles because each spell has a very specific intent and mixing all of those intents together can get a little muddy. But if you're making something like protection candles on a regular basis, you can save some of those because it's the same intention to make a new protection candle out of them. For wax that is related to energy or spells that are for attraction, be it abundance, love, opportunities, wealth, you could also apply this to protection. The first thing I'm going to do is melt this wax down. If the candle isn't scented, you can choose to mix in some scented wax melts or essential oils. You don't have to have a mold for this. You can just pour it on like a sheet and then turn it into wax chips, but I'm going to be using this little frog. After I've melted together my love candle remnants and my wax melts for scent, I pour them into these little frog molds and let them set. I put them in these little sachet bags so that I can protect my clothing, and I'm actually going to keep these in my closet, which will also dual as making my closet or my drawers smell nice, but I'm also keeping this energy inside of my home where I want to attract it. For energy or spells that banish, or for workings that you feel you are completely done with and you want to release the last of all of its energy, I'm turning these into fire starters. Now, not everyone is going to have access to fire pits or bonfires. You could also burn these in like a cauldron, something that is fire safe, probably outdoors, and then use it to, burn off other things. So I'm just gonna melt my leftover wax down. I do have these little candle wicks. I'm also gonna set them up inside of these paper mini cupcake liners. You can also use egg cartons, which I'm using here for stability. I also have the aluminum foil one for stability so that I don't have to ruin my actual baking sheets with wax. You can also just pour these, if you have enough wax, into a whole egg carton and just use those and then cut them apart. And then I'm adding a bunch of protection and banishing and releasing herbs on top of it. And then once it's set, it's ready to start your fires with. And finally, any wax that is remaining could be a sign that there is some more magical work that could be done. That's not always the case, but sometimes when there is wax left over, I kind of register that as there's more I can do here. So for this final project, I'm going to actually use this leftover wax to seal a spell jar with the same intention as my candle spell. I also tried melting this together with hot glue because I read online that you can make like wax seals with this. I used beeswax and it didn't work out perfectly, but I will say that it made my beeswax a little bit easier to stick to the jar because beeswax can be very soft. So with the same intention that I had when I was making the candle spell, I made a spell jar and then I just sealed it with that wax. So now your wax has served you twice, not only by releasing your intentions by fire, but also sealing this jar that is a beacon for that energy as well. So that's just a couple of ways that I have reused leftover wax before. These are kind of my go-to methods. If you have any thoughts, variations, or different projects entirely, let me know in the comments. I would love to know. I love reusing things, especially with magical intent. And that's pretty much the video. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.